Hmm. Hey there, welcome to day 1776. Just spilled coffee on my mask of what's she up to now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting the journey and sharing my experience as I transitioned originally from the corporate world of American world of work, as well as owning and operating my own businesses on the side, to the online world of business. Following my divorce got divorced before this, but in 2017, I decided, hey, we've separated our assets. I want to do something. I don't know what it is, but I don't want to just sit down and retire and travel. Well, now I'm traveling, so I guess I still want to travel, but I don't want to not be learning and growing and contributing to the world in what I consider a positive way. So this month for our BU 365-day challenge, this year our challenge is all about becoming an ever-improving version of ourselves, right? Determining what we want to become, who we want to be, how we want to show up in the world, and doing something every day to move us toward that, to improve us a little bit every single day. Because guess what? If we get in the habit of doing a little thing every day, pretty soon we're in the habit of it, and we're automatically moving toward the things that we want in the 9 different areas and aspects of our life without having to consciously be thinking about it and striving and worrying and fretting and doubting that we're not there yet, things like that. So we're setting everything on autopilot to make what we want and who we want to become much, much easier. So this month, the month of December, I've had a pretty heavy year in terms of the things that we're doing. We've done a lot. I mean, we've done literally hundreds of different things. Some of them took a little bit of time. Some of them took quite a bit of time, depending on where we are in our personal development and personal growth. And others were just quick and easy. So I want to make sure that December, being a super busy month for the vast majority of us, and the fact that I'm traveling, I wanted to make it something that we could do pretty quickly and pretty easily. So I decided I would ask 2 questions every day of the group, and you can answer one or the other or both, or, none if you're just busy doing your day. But it's just things to think about and ponder that we might not otherwise think about. So I found a question that's pretty serious, as well as then one that's kind of rhetorical or frivolous, but we get to think about both. And today's, I think it was important to have a frivolous light one because the topic's pretty heavy. I skipped a lot of really what I consider moral and ethical negative dilemma type questions as I was selecting questions for this month because they bother me. And I kept this one, and I did a bunch of research on it yesterday because it's a topic that I really don't think about much. Why? Because I choose not to think about it. And so the question is there such a thing as evil people, and what makes them evil? I think that's a really heavy question. And then the other flip side of that was, does being up for something mean the same thing as being down for something? And of course, I researched it because I wanted to know, because as far as I'm concerned, they mean the same thing. And they absolutely positively do mean the same thing. They both mean that you're agreeing and to do something, right? Or that you're into and will participate in something. So if you say you're up for something, that means you're willing to do it. If you say you're down for something, you're willing to do it too. But up and down are opposites. So it's kind of confusing to many of us when you hear both expressions, especially people that English isn't your first language. You're like, what do you mean? You're down for it. You're up for it. I don't get it. How do they mean the same thing? So a lot of conflicting things in the English language like that. But for our first question, is there such a thing as evil people? I couldn't not answer this one. I think that we're all born good and in love and light, and it's the things that happen to us after we come into the planet that might cause us to do evil things. And just because somebody does a bad thing or makes a mistake doesn't necessarily mean they're evil. But I did find a cool list of 16 warning signs of evil people, and I've shared it both in both groups so far. So I'm going to share it again here because I think it's important that we can see ourselves in some of these things, right? And we've all, not in many times, but I guarantee all of us have done something on this list at least once in our life. I mean, if you are someone who's never, ever done any of the things on this list, comment below. Or if you know somebody, comment below, because I want to meet those people. I want to know somebody that's never, ever had an evil thought or a negative thought or exhibited any of these warning signs. So what are the warning signs of evil people? This is a list I got on the internet. Definitely not my list, but I don't disagree with the list, right? I can't say if I agree or disagree because I haven't decided yet. I haven't thought about it enough. But the whole topic left me feeling meh yesterday. So I want to just get it out and be done with it. And I guarantee none of the rest of the questions that I asked this month are going to be on this tack, because all the questions that were on lists that made me feel icky, with the exception of this one, I didn't put on the list for the month of December. I already mapped out the rest of the year's questions. So I have 2 questions a day in my little book this is actually my annual challenge book. And I wanted to make sure I could get it all in one book this year. We'll see if it actually makes it. I think I will, because I've already mapped this out. And then we've still got room for an end of the year review and things that I like to do to wrap up every annual challenge that I do. It would be remiss of me to not do a lessons learned throughout a challenge when I spent a whole year focusing on something, right? So I'm definitely going to think about where I was and where I am now at the end of the year. All right, so what are these 16 warning signs of evil people? Let's grab my magnifying glass so I can see what they're. Ooh, that's really scary. And I'm big like that. Yikes. I think it's a fun mask. I did 2 fun, scary masks today. I definitely wouldn't consider this mask evil. I think it's actually pretty cool looking. Kind of a Day of the Dead thing, which, Day of the Dead isn't evil either. I thought it was interesting, the different types of evil and definitions of evil. And until Immanuel Kant wrote in his book, Religion Within the Limits of Reason Alone, he was the first one to offer up that evil isn't necessarily supernatural, and that there's different types of evil. And again, like I said, I did way too much research on evil yesterday for my comfort zone. So I don't know, maybe I needed it, because usually things that make me uncomfortable are things I need to learn more about. But I don't think evil is one of them. I think it's one of those things that we can just choose to steer clear of. So what are 16 warning signs of evil people? Number 1, they enjoy misfortune of others. Number 2, they have control issues. Number 3, they are habitually dishonest. Number 4, they mislead you. Number 5, you feel strange around them. They just give you that, icky intuitive feeling, or anything negative or fearful. Those are all things, if you feel that way around people, they're not your people. They lack remorse. They are cruel. They lack responsibility. Their friends and family will warn you about them. They're bad friends. They are lots of racist, sexist, homophobic, bigots, prejudiced, entitled, judgmental, rude, and all those kinds of things that people would call them. They manipulate, they belittle you, they confuse and cause conflict, they lead double lives, and they don't have boundaries. Those are just some signs of evil behavior for sure, right? And if somebody, that's their modus operandi, they're probably kind of evil people. I would love to say that people don't become evil and that evil doesn't exist, but it absolutely positively does. And unfortunately, we see examples of it every single day in the world. If you watch the news, you see evil happening all the time. If you watch the news, you're being manipulated by evil, which is one of the signs of evil people. Anyway, I'm not going to digress there. That's just, again, we all have our thoughts and feelings and beliefs about things. I personally filter out and steer clear of evil things and evil people and evil situations as much as is humanly possible. All right, if I can help you anyway, ask. Otherwise, I'm going to go start my day traveling, and traveling is fun for me. So if you need me, pajamagrandma@gmail.com via Voxer is the fastest, easiest way to get in touch with me. Otherwise, I'm going to enjoy my journey, and I invite you to do the same, and I'll be with you tomorrow.